Tonight we're going to be talking about Halloween. You thought we had said everything that needed to be said? No, not yet. San Fransokyo's coming, we swear. And then on top of that, we're going to be talking about the best way to choose a Disney hotel tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for August 27th, 2023. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys so much for being with us on your Sunday night. We appreciate you. If you have not already, please subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content, and also give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us, and it gives, I don't know, just a little bit more meaning to these people's lives for coming on to entertain you. So if you can give a thumbs up, you're feeding their souls. And so please do that tonight. And let me introduce them, starting with my good friend Kamila. How are you?
Hi everyone. Happy Sunday. It's Disneyland Eve for me, so I'm in a good mood.
We are very excited for that. She is going to be reporting live for 72 hours straight from Disneyland. She's not. But somebody who does, it's Allie.
Hi, I just spent 6 hours at Disneyland, and I have 3 more days to go this week for Halloween. So I will be reporting for 72 hours.
News right hot off the press right here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the man,
pumpkins, it's all coming.
the myth, the legend, the multimedia superstar, Mr. Hold Patrick Wait Hackett. Woo!
Man, I'm the boat guy. I don't know if you've heard about me. I just really like boats.
That drowned?
Oh. We just came here to party. There's a lot of like F's in chat. Let's drop them. Drop those F's in chat for Bob Barker, because the man almost made it to 100. I saw a joke today that said, and you know, we joke because we don't know how else to process, you know, that he, you know, bid 100, but he came in at 99, so at least he didn't go over. Is that funny? I don't think so, no. But Bob Barker, amazing.
A man's dead, Rob.
99, good Lord. Wow. What we all aspire to.
Multimedia superstar.
Man, I didn't know it was coming out so hot like this.
You started it with the boats. You started it.
I bet I've been on more podcasts than Bob Barker has.
All right, look, so here's the thing. Tonight we're gonna have some news, and I almost hate to put the word Halloween in the lineup when we're talking about Halloween, but folks, Halloween is continuing to happen all around the world. One of the stories that came up that I wanted to pull this group on that I thought was kind of insane is that at Tokyo Disney, they have a place where you can go to get zhuzhed up before you go and wear your costume into the parks. That's kind of crazy and also awesome. Like, you know, when you go to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, people come to play. They are full costume, and obviously they had to ride the monorail in that costume. They had to take a car in that costume. But at Tokyo Disney, they're letting you just basically rent a little room, and it has a plug where you can put a hair dryer. Patrick, I mean, you're a guy that likes to really go ham when it comes to a costume. Are you excited?
That is.
We should have this though, shouldn't we?
I think you're burying the lead here. Is that Tokyo Disneyland took a page out of the domestic parks book and took something that was free and started charging for it. We're proud of you, Tokyo. You're all grown up. Pretty soon your parks will be deteriorating just like the rest of ours. This is awesome. If you've ever had to trek from a park to Magic Kingdom, I couldn't imagine coming from your home, never mind another park, or from your hotel to the Magic Kingdom for Not So Scary in costume. It's tough. You get sweaty. By the way, I recommend if you're doing a costume, don't do a tail. You're going to leave it on an attraction. This is really awesome. I'm shocked that with Disneyland, with its top-notch customer service, is now making you pay for something like this.
Top-notch customer service. Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is kind of cool. And yeah, they really kind of come to play. So it's one of those things where, you know, hey, I'd really like a place to just, you know, come over and get dressed. And to your point, it used to be free and then it went away. And that's the Disney difference, isn't it? It used to be free and then it went away but it's back, hooray! But now it costs money. I mean, we've never seen this happen anywhere, Allie, Lightning Lane. Have we? Thoughts?
Oh, Lightning Lane, rip. It just seems very Tokyo to me. I love this for them. I wish we had that here and in Florida because when you get really hot and really sweaty, I would pay a couple dollars to just have somewhere to change and freshen up before I go to a different park or go to dinner. So I don't know, I'm kind of here for it. Should be free, but love that.
True, it should be free. Now let's talk about something else, Allie, and specific to Disneyland is Oogie Boogie Bash has been known for,
Yeah.
man, the best villains. Like out of nowhere, I was like, did I know that I needed Sid to be in the parks? No, and they were like, yeah, you do. And then I was like, yeah, I did. Sid is like now one of my all-time favorites to see. And we saw a little teaser that said there's new stuff coming.
There is new stuff coming. Yes, what's the guy's name from Big Hero 6? Callahan. I don't know what is the other name they were giving him, but that makes
Yokai.
sense for me.
Yokai.
Yeah, that makes sense to me with San Fransokyo opening, a few days before. So I think that's great. That's a wonderful tie-in. Again, not something I know that I needed, but I'm here for it. And Judge Doom, like, let's go. That is amazing. So I spent today at DCA. They already have some of the stuff up for Oogie Boogie. So Bruno will be coming back. Madam Mim, I saw her stuff. Mother Gothel, her stuff was up. So looks like they're bringing back all the big hitters. And this looks amazing. I am super, super excited for that on the 5th.
Yeah, you're right.
They're
Like
killing it.
it's genius the idea to put him
Yeah.
in there when they've got San Fransokyo. Like, oh, we're gonna have this new land. We should probably have a new villain. Oh, we've got one for you. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Patrick, you've never been to Oogie Boogie Bash. Can we talk about how sad you are?
This is just another thing that makes me aggravated that Disneyland's holidays are amazing compared to Walt Disney World. And
Yes, I do.
There's not enough DVC inventory at Disneyland. We need more DVC. Oh, they're making it! Yay!
Wow.
I feel
Okay.
like I should sponsor Patrick. Like, just come out. I'll sponsor you. I'll drive you. I'll take you.
Aw, thanks.
If you'd like some beer, I know where to find some. I got you.
Do you like beer?
No, he doesn't. He does not. Kamila, you were saying you're headed out west. You're headed too early because
I know.
you're not going to see Haunted Mansion Holiday.
I know. Well, what's kind of funny is I'm choosing to spend the holiday season at Disney World, and once again, I feel like Disneyland is just reminding us why it's the superior version. And now I will say, it's not that I didn't want to go to the Oogie Boogie Bash. I literally couldn't get tickets. So thanks Disney for like throwing this in our faces, those of us who can't go. But no, it looks really cool. I'm excited for everyone that is going to get to go, and those promos, like, they look really well done for these characters. So just good job all around.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the stuff that's coming to Disneyland, I kind of have regret that I didn't get a ticket. I had Magic Key and I could have gotten a ticket, and Allie was like, "You should do it," because she's not only my hookup but my enabler. I'm like, Allie, should I do it? Yeah, you should totally do that.
Just
The
means she
moral
has
of
to
the
carry
story
less
is-
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. If I was coming out for Oogie Boogie, she wouldn't have to hold on to my Baymax sipper and my the Hocus Pocus sipper and all that kind of stuff. You're right. That's not why you do it, right, Allie? You just want to come out and me to come out and hang out, right? Right?
I wanted you to come hang out, and I was on the fence about grabbing a second day for Oogie Boogie just to go and enjoy the thing without having to work, and then I caved and I did it, and I'm super happy that I did, and I'm a little sad for all of you guys. But
The moral of the story is always just get the tickets.
yeah,
Just
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely. There's a Black Flame ball that's happening up in your neck of the woods, Patrick. It's actually closer to Ron, but like in the Northeast, they're doing a Black Flame ball for D23 where they're celebrating the 30 years of the Sanderson sisters, and it's not sold out yet, which shocks me because anytime that there's a D23
It will be in a
event
second. Hang
anywhere-
tight.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I got it. Anytime that there's a D23 event, it's sold out before you can even start it. Like it's just ridiculous. Whether it was the D23 Oogie Boogie Bash or the D23 like tours at the studio or something that happened at Disney World, they're just like I mean, and the last one I saw was that one alley that was for Rogers, the musical. Like you know, I was going to try to buy some tickets for that, and it was like, oh, it's Thursday at noon. Let me go. No, they're gone. Like literally instantly. So I'm surprised that that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one more thing that's happening over in Paris is an annual pass holder event for a villainous night coming in September. I mean, this looks pretty amazing. I know that they did Villains After Dark event at Disney World before, but this one kind of looks like a huge takeover. And I got to think, Patrick, that I don't know if you've been to Disneyland Paris, but don't you think they probably do spooky better than we do?
I don't know. They certainly didn't do much. I was right around there for Bastille Day, and I was shocked that there wasn't anything, you know, Bastille-ish?
Sure.
in the area. They have to worry about how they're treating their cast members and strikes and more than how they're treating their annual pass holders, but I'm glad they're having an event there.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad they're having an event there too. I just think it's like I would like to go to that one too. We were joking last week when I was being serious and you slammed me when I said who actually goes to the Halloween parties on both coasts besides Allie and Tom, and you went you, which this year not true. By the way, Kamila, you were talking about Oogie Boogie Bash being sold out. What if you were like the kind of person that said, "Hey, this is our family tradition"? Like, how much would that suck? Like you can't get in anymore. It's like, oh, I guess we're, you know, there goes our streak since 2021.
Well, I feel like it's like other popular Disney run events. Like I think about Run Disney and the fact that, you know, to kind of get a guaranteed spot in a lot of those races, also you have to be like that paid tier of Run Disney member, and then you get first access to be able to sign up for the events. Same thing with Oogie Boogie, where, you know, if you were a Magic Key holder, then, you know, you had a relatively stress-free process of trying to get tickets. But for anyone else, you know, it's just, there's no guarantee. And it's been that way, I feel like, for the past few years, and the event just continues to get more popular. But it's because it's really well done.
Yeah. Speaking of Run Disney, Allie's laughing
Are you gonna tell everyone?
for a great reason. I wanted to finally sign up for one. I had never done one, and so I wanted to finally sign up for one. And I had my eyes on the spring one, and I was like, "Oh, that'd be really cool." And Allie was in chat, and she was going, "Yeah, I'm signed up for the runs." And I'm like, "Oh, they're up." And I go to look, and the 5K is sold out, so I signed up for a 10K.
You got this.
We'll be
You
fine.
got this.
We're gonna have a magical time. It's gonna be great.
Bro,
A
you should be on
magical
the
time?
treadmill right now.
I know. I'm wasting my time here. Exactly.
You have plenty of time.
I'm going to be mall walking the heck out of that track is what I'm going to be doing. I don't think I'm going to be able to run Disney. It'll be more like a strut Disney, straw.
Power
Like,
walk
I don't,
Disney.
yeah, awkward walk Disney. That's going to be the thing that's going to happen. For this next one, anybody that has watched the show before knows I have a Magic Band prop. Is the burrito ready? What did we hear? I don't know. Maybe just me. Anybody who's watched the show before knows I have a problem with Magic Bands, but Magic Band 2.0 was like my jam. Anytime there was a Magic Band 2.0 in a box, it doesn't really matter whether it was like Easter or the worst movie ever. I needed to have it because it was in a box. When Magic Band Plus came out, I was like, I'm okay, because a lot of them weren't in those square boxes. They weren't the limited edition. Now Disney has come out with the limited edition Magic Band Pluses, and I was like, I think I can still hold off. But guess who didn't? This one. You broke down and you bought one of the new ones, didn't you?
I made a series of questionable decisions on Friday, and I bought the Robin Hood Magic Band because Robin Hood is one of my favorite movies. It was like my all-time favorite when I was a child growing up. They never have anything that is Robin Hood, and I had to have it. So I bought it. And I wore it today, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Wow, it was expensive. Whew.
What it's in a box, Allie. But I'll have to teach you that when it's in a box,
I threw the
you
box
do not
away.
wear it. You do
You
not
did
wear
not
it.
throw the box away.
You threw the box
What
away?
what am I gonna do with the
Oh,
box?
God.
For why you shouldn't have done that, let's go to Patrick Hackett.
Oh, God.
Oh, we lost Pat? Oh, no, we got him.
You lost me for a second. I was trying to show all of my pops in boxes. Don't throw the box away. Now I'm heartbroken. Oh, the box.
Oh,
I threw
and
and I wore it today. What am I gonna do with the box? I'm not gonna.
why
sell
did you
it.
wear it? Why did you
Allie,
wear it?
Allie,
Did
do
you-
not
did you
let
buy a
these
second one?
orders make you feel bad.
I bought it to wear.
It's not
and
you,
enjoy.
it's them.
It's not gonna sit in the box. You guys have a problem. I don't have the problem.
One time I posted on Facebook, and I think it was Mickey's birthday. Now, Funko boxes, you can pull it open and you can take the pop out. Patrick, calm down. You can take the pop out and you can take a picture of it if you want to and put it back in, and it's like nothing ever happened. And I put it on Facebook, and Patrick yelled at me on Facebook in front of everyone saying, "You monster! How dare you take this out of the box?" So, I mean, Magic Bands.
I'm the prospector in Toy Story.
That's exactly who you are.
Yeah.
There was there's another one that came out, the Black Cauldron. See, that would probably have been the one that I would have picked. I get what you're saying, Allie. Like, when it's your favorite movie and you've got nostalgia behind it, you definitely want to hold on to it. And this is all part of the Disney 100 years. I love this one because it has sort of the the sketch animation to it. Why it's 3,240, we're gonna have to ask Rita in the ordering department. But it's just like that's a weird combination. There's that number must mean something to somebody. But Kamila, do you feel like the excitement of Magic Band Plus still hasn't caught on, or is it? And if it hasn't, do you think it's because of the price?
They are expensive. I feel like there is something about being in a crowd, having your like special Magic Band Plus on, and it's like connecting with the fireworks and lighting up, that it is fun. It feels very Disney. I honestly haven't done much with it that's like unique to the Magic Band Plus outside of that. I just got it because that's like the new thing. But I do think that they're fun, and especially when you get ones that are the decorated ones, if it's your favorite show, your favorite character, you're in the parks, you're going to connect with it. And so I actually do think they're worth it, one, just for the Magic Band capabilities. But, if you're going to get one anyways, spend a little bit, find the one that is right for you. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, and $64.99 for these limited edition ones,
Wow.
which, is a lot of monies. But you know what? She's making bank, so she can afford to go ahead and be extravagant and get the nice ones in the box. But I mean, when it's a Magic Band and they keep it under lock and key, is that a problem? Like,
Yes.
I mean, that is, and there's a Winnie the Pooh one and some others for the 100 years. So they're in the parks now. If you guys want to check them out, I'm sure they're probably on Shop Disney as well. Let's move on to this topic I'm calling Tiana's joint, because I know that there's always a lot of talk in the chat about, is it palace or is it place? And we know that it kind of morphs from place into palace in the movie at the very end when she becomes a princess. But honestly, I don't know. Are we looking forward to this, Allie? Because you're the one who's in the parks. This is at Disneyland. This is part of the kind of the reformation of New Orleans Square. So I mean, is this something that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It makes sense at Disneyland. It makes sense in New Orleans Square. And they finally released the food menus, and it all actually looks pretty good. I know some people were commenting that it's not super authentic, which, don't need to do that, as I ranted on last week. But it looks like they already had a food review for it, and most people liked what they had. And for me, the French market was not a place that I would usually go unless we were reviewing something, because the food was never great. So it needed a refresh. This is a great tie-in. The dishes look super fun, and I hope it's wonderful. I'm excited for it. it looks good. So
Well, you know the problem. You're aware of the problem, aren't you?
there's lots of problems, but which one? Oh,
There's
the
a plate.
plate.
There's a
And
plate.
there's also a glow cube and a glow cube.
Yes, with Ray.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Ray. Here's the problem: is it a glow cube or is it one of those straw hanger things? Because I don't like those.
I don't know. Just send me your list of what you want.
This is the thing you're talking about here. So I guess it's the Ray the Firefly
That's so
glow
cute.
cube. Yeah,
It's
sits
really
inside.
Yeah, super cute. That cold brew
Yeah.
looks good too.
It
Yeah.
does.
Chicory
and
and,
it opened.
coffee is so good. Oh,
It opens on September 6th. Kamila, are you staying long enough to see it?
I wish, but I'll be back to check it out. And I will say this, and listen, I know nobody cares, but Blue Bayou, you will never see me again, okay? Ever. Because I feel like this menu looks so good, and really all I need is like the Disneyland gumbo. So if they have that and, you know, it's cute, it's like a fun atmosphere in there, I'll do that versus trying to go through all the effort to get Blue Bayou. And, you know, not that it's like so difficult, but I will say as far as like the sneak peeks we've gotten for the interior, I'm really curious to see like the whole thing and how it comes together. Because to be honest, just from the pictures they've shown so far, I'm getting like Liberty Tree Tavern vibes, and I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. Like, how did we go from like the little Tiana bar on the Wish to what this is looking like so far? No, I'm going to reserve full judgment until we actually see it, but it's looking a little sparse so far.
I'm getting Liberty Tree vibes, and not in a good way.
And I
Patrick,
love
Make that
Liberty
a
Tree
shirt.
Tavern.
That needs to be a
Not
shirt.
full shade. It's
I'm-
not full
I'm-
shade.
I'm getting
It's
Liberty
perfect.
Tree Tavern vibes, and not in a good. Come on! I freaking love me some Liberty Tree Tavern. Patrick, say something
Me
positive
too.
before we move on.
I actually thought it looked pretty good. I did also have the authenticity issue. I mean, I don't think there's a single person who eats a loose beef po' boy like that. I mean, it's mostly, almost always, fried seafood. But, you know, I just want beignets. Just as long as there's beignets, put beignets in Walt Disney World. She should have her own restaurant, but just make sure I can get a beignet in the park, and that's it. I have very few desires. Boats and beignets, that's my life now.
And I was glad that like the beignets are still there. I assumed that like once they close that down, that they would, the mint julep bar, that they would close it down for like a while and you couldn't get any, but they moved them over.
Yeah.
So what is the name of that place that they moved them to, Allie?
Royal Street Veranda.
Yeah, right there on the corner by Pirates.
And then they're
right?
they're moving back, so they'll be back where they were.
Yes, that's all. We want them
Yes.
back where they belong. All right, so let's move on to some Epcot stuff. I know we've been talking about Journey of Water for the longest time, but there were some people that went inside and actually got to journey into the water. They did some play testing and went through and got to see like some misting and water and things like this. And I'm excited. I've just been excited for those walls to come down. I think we all have been, right? We've just been like, whatever that is, that's going to be fine. Can I just walk from the land to Connections? Can I just do that? So I don't know if you guys watched this video at all. It looks kind of cool. I'm not sure it looks like it should have taken as long as it has, but also from the monorail, there is still that pump station that drives me crazy. That you can see from the monorail. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Patrick, because I know nobody likes to journey into water like you do. What are you feeling, buddy?
I am worried. I'm going to be honest. I'm worried. This looks like a lot of stuff that could break easily and then never be turned on again. That is my main concern. I want the walls to come down, and I want this to be an attraction that has some staying power, but I feel like it's screaming broken B mode all over it.
Broken B mode. Yes, I don't disagree. Kamila, there's now stroller parking. Does that help you at all?
That's where I park my stroller that has all my merch in it that I'm going to try to resell. No.
Perfect.
No,
Keep it
I
in the
don't-
boxes, please.
I don't know about the stroller parking lifestyle, but I don't know why, but for some reason I just find this funny. I mean, look, I think on the one hand, we're getting something new that was not there before. I don't know if we asked for this, but it's coming anyway. My honest thought is like, I'm guessing like little kids might love this. You know, they can see, they can hear, they can touch, they can feel, whatever. And so I hope they love it. I've seen the videos of people who have had the chance to go in. I don't know. I can't figure out what to think.
I love how reserved you're like. On one hand, you're like brutally honest, and on the other hand, you're like, I'll reserve judgment. This looks like a dumpster fire, but I'll wait and see. Like,
I just feel like I'm not the target market, and so I want to recognize that. And you know, I'm excited to see get the Moana vibes. So I don't know. It doesn't look like anything to me so far, but maybe I'll see it and be like, no, I was wrong. Just like I was on the reverse with the barges. I thought they were not going to be a big deal, and then I saw them and I was like, oh no, that's really bad.
Yes, I agree. But Patrick with hashtag Team Barges, so you got to be careful on that one. But let's talk about that, because they took out the barges. They took out the barges. They took out the 4 taco barges in the Stargate, and God knows did what with them. They're probably in Tom's backyard. But with all of those things like moved out, now they've got Epcot Forever going on, and now they're bringing in a new show. I feel like that Allie, you and I don't necessarily agree on what's a good night show sometimes. I feel like I liked Wondrous. You were like, meh. So...
No, don't do that to me. Wondrous is the best.
Oh.
No.
Where was this before?
Better than Happily Ever After. I said what
How
I
are you
said.
feeling about what we're seeing here with these
Paul,
aerial
go
views?
back to the... She can't get away with this. She can't just say stuff like that and not have to come back to this 4 square thing while you're on construction pictures. How dare you?
Have you seen Wondrous?
I mean, I've seen videos that we posted
Have
on
you
our site
been
that I
to
imagine
Wondrous?
you took. No,
Have
I
you been
only
to
go to
Wondrous?
California when game shows pay for me to go there. That is my strict California policy
This
at
took
the
a
moment.
weird turn. This took a weird
Happily
turn.
Ever After, Cat from Teen Beach Movie, Robert from Turning Red. All right, it's the same guy, but he's there and he's awesome.
Wait, I have a
Happily
real
Ever
question
After
for
is great,
Patrick though.
but-
Wait, how is
Yeah.
that not a real question? No. Let's talk about this, guys. Patrick, put it out there, man.
I mean, Wondrous is fine, but Happily Ever After is probably... You got to go back to like Pirates and Princess, which is one of the most ambitious fireworks shows they did before there was projection all the time on the castle. Utilized some projection. It was a great show. I think it ran for like 2 summers, maybe 1 summer. But Happily Ever After is the best fireworks show, nighttime activation that Disney has ever put out. Wondrous is good. It's fine, but come on.
Allie, rebuttal?
I just don't think
Okay,
it's the same level.
hear me out. Hear me out. I did both within a week, a few weeks ago.
Okay.
It was my first Happily Ever After. I did the thing. I went in the front, and it was great. My biggest complaint is the music is super quiet at Disney World. When you are at Disneyland, you can be anywhere on Main Street, anywhere around the castle. The projections just engulf you. The music engulfs you, and it is magical. They're both great shows, but the way that Wondrous weaves everything, it's a very good show. And if you haven't like physically been there to do it, I don't think you can judge on that. Also, there's a flying Baymax, so
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
rope drop.
that's pretty good.
yeah, that is pretty good. Kamila?
Done.
I don't know. I feel like I will be able to judge this after I have a chance to see Wondrous, literally not tomorrow, but I guess probably Tuesday. And I recently have done the dessert party for Happily Ever After, so I feel like I'm refreshed in that situation as well. But my actual question is is Patrick excited for Moana? Because he has actual little kids, and I just am curious, like, you know, do you feel like they would like it?
She is ecstatic for Moana, and I know she's gonna run through and play in it, and she's gonna have the best time.
That's why I couldn't trash it.
As long as it works, I can see her getting frustrated if it doesn't work. But as long as it works, she's going to enjoy it. She's looking forward to that. She's looking forward to Tiana getting her own attraction. She is insisting that Dr. Facilier dies on it. She has repeatedly told me that as a 4-year-old, and it's very upsetting, but he needs to go, and it needs to be visible on the attraction, or she is not going to be thrilled.
So what's she looking for exactly in a Dr. Facilier death?
Body, I think. I'm not sure.
We need proof, is what she's saying. Yeah. Yes, your 4-year-old's going, Dad, we need proof. Okay, yeah, all right, great. Like Sopranos style, apparently. I don't know what goes on up there, buddy. Whoa. All right, let's move on. There is a bit that I like to call "It Came from the Parks," and you know what? Sometimes these are just weird things that we hear about in the parks, and sometimes it's like something you go, that can't be right. I don't know why somebody would do that in the parks, or why would somebody do that to somebody, or I mean, there's some bad, weird things that happen in the parks. And so what we do here, rather than talking about all of them ad nauseum, is I'm giving each of you a chance to pick the one you want to talk about and go through. And I always love seeing, like, we don't talk about this in advance. I always love seeing, like, which ones you guys are going to pick, because it's just, you know, I'm just pins and needles. So here we go. So the first one is college program cast member fired after viral TikTok captures guest attract. Oh, by the way, these titles are always like 9 miles long. Guest attraction at altercation at Magic Kingdom. This one is tearing down. Police respond after woman knocked down in Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. And then this one, female cast member escapes attempted kidnapping in the Epcot parking lot. So choose well, you know. Let's start with Kamila. Which one do you want to talk about?
You know, like, I was never a cast member, but I feel like I've heard so many stories from cast members who are friends of mine, cast members who are people who I know, and they just talk about how difficult it is, because the experience of going to any Disney park is very expensive. People spend a lot of money, they spend a lot of time planning, and, you know, they want to be engulfed in the magic. And I feel like they expect every single interaction with a cast member to be this, you know, wonderful, magical experience. But what I have observed myself is that sometimes guests can be abusive in how they treat not only cast members, but also other guests. And you know, there's almost a sense of entitlement that it's, you know, instead of all of us are trying to go and have this great experience at the parks, everybody wants to have their own individual great experience, and, you know, everyone needs to be nice and they need to be first, and, you know, the line is too long, you need to, I don't know, just long story short, what kind of makes me sad, and what I hear from a lot of cast members, and I feel like, you know, there's always multiple sides to these stories of what happened with, you know, the cast member that was fired. We've heard from the two. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But so I just always think about, like, even in situations where I don't feel like I got maybe great service, I'm always empathetic, because I'm like, these people have a really hard job, and people post-COVID, I feel like, have only gotten harder to deal with. And so it just, I don't know, like, there's something kind of heartbreaking about, like, these people that are, you know, kind of barely surviving, not getting paid. And then on top of that, you know, even if you had an issue with a cast member, why are we filming them so they can get fired? Why not go to guest services and provide feedback and let them handle it that way? But to not only have this person get fired, but to also have this viral video because you decided to record them, and knowing, you know, what cast members are paid, what they have to deal with, some of the literal physical abuse. I don't like it, and we have to stop treating especially blue collar workers with this kind of disdain because something inconvenienced you. I don't like it. If you have an issue, write to corporate, go see guest services, but let's stop with the viral videos of people who I don't know, don't see it coming, and lives
Yeah.
aren't in danger.
That's true. That's a great point. Like it's not, they're not curing cancer out there. They're, like, why would you go off about something so small? But that's great points. Thank you for picking that one. Patrick, follow it up.
I don't
What do
think
you got?
we need to say anything else. I think Kamila covered it. The one thing that I would add to that, if someone bumps into you in a theme park, there is absolutely no reason to get law enforcement involved. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You got bumped into in a theme park. You fell over. You twisted your ankle. You don't need a cop. Go to guest services. Tell them what happened. They'll probably give you free stuff, as long as you're not a jerk.
You know what? But you see that a lot. The line thing. I mean, I see it all the time, and sometimes it's because a parent needed to take a little kid and go to the bathroom. That's fine. And when people are like, "Excuse me, my family's up here," that's fine. I completely understand it. What I see more happen in Disneyland, honestly, is one person goes and waits in line, and then 7 people stride up to meet up with them. And it's like, oh, my person's up there. Yeah, y'all were back there. Your person should drop back, which is kind of what they said here.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't need to become an altercation or he pushed me or whatever, but I do think that, there's some common courtesy to let people go if there's just one or two. If it's a football team, I usually get a little upset about that. Yeah. Allie, what you got before we move on?
I was going to pick the Guardians one, same thing. Like, that seemed like it needed to be a non-issue, but I have noticed, especially on this last trip, like, Guardians has gotten really, really bad, those pre-shows. People are shoving their way to the front. Like, for whatever reason, I always seem to be the one they cut off, so I'm always the first one let in. And then you have this thing where you're like, 100 people are behind. I have to stay in front of them. And I don't know, I'm like a party of one, and all of a sudden there's 50 people in front of me, and I'm like, what is happening here? And then those doors open after that last pre-show, and they take off sprinting up the ramp. Why?
I hate the funnel in general.
All getting on the ride. Like, you are in air conditioning. Like, let's enjoy this.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, and the funnel in general, and they do it at the Haunted Mansion, right? You're in a basically single file, and then they bring you into a large group. And then they bring that group into a room. Which is
not working. Yeah.
And then they file you down like a funnel into a single line again. It's like, we were just in a single line back here. I get that maybe it's because of the way the pre-show rooms are set up or whatever, but more times than not, I see that where it's like, you spread out into a group, and then that funnel, though, for Guardians is the worst. And I love that
It's
ride.
bad.
Let's move on then. Talking about the good ones, the good parks, Tokyo and Hong Kong. I'll say it. It's fine. But you know what? They came out with some interesting stuff, and Patrick, I think that some of these might be things that you're interested in. The Frozen, Tangled, and Peter Pan attraction names and descriptions were released. They're going to have a Wandering Oaken shop and a restaurant for Arendelle, and the same attraction we have in Florida. Artwork looks kind of amazing, and then looks a little bit different night and day. And then you've got the Tangled, or that's actually the same one. They've got the world of Tangled, the Rapunzel's Forest, which looks kind of awesome, and that has
it's a really big bathroom.
Yes, right? I don't know. Rapunzel's Lantern Festival attraction.
Oh my God, the snuggling
duckling. Yes, yeah, you're excited. And then the Peter Pan Neverland. Talk to me, buddy. What are you excited about here? What do you like in this matchup?
I'm not excited about any of it because it's not in Walt Disney World. Poor Rapunzel has a toilet. We don't have a snuggly duckling anywhere, and this is just absurd. I need to get on the phone. You know who I gotta call? My boy. He's
your boy Joshy D.
Josh D needs to get it together because these other parks are blowing Walt Disney World out of the water. Walt Disney World is supposed to be the marquee. It's supposed to be where all of this is, and then other parks take it from us. It shouldn't be that, oh, hey, you have a pretty good idea, but watch how we do this. Here, our Anna and Elsa's faces don't terrify people. And if it breaks, it doesn't look like the blue screen of death.
Yes. And it's not just Tokyo, because we always hear about Tokyo. Tokyo's got that money. They take care of things, all of that. But Hong Kong's got this new Frozen Land, which, holy moly, are we actually in Arendelle? Like, that looks fan-freaking-tastic. So Kamila's just shaking her head left and right. You tell me what's going on in your head, Kamila.
Here's the thing. I don't understand in what world does it make sense that Hong Kong and Tokyo have a frozen land, but the domestic parks don't? And I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying, how does it make sense that we don't even have a plan for it here? Like,
well,
Frozen is so popular.
It's just a fad.
Yeah, it's not a third movie coming out.
Yeah, just a fad. It's going to go away. We don't want to invest our money into something silly like that. I mean, that's crazy talk. Well, as somebody who is going to live the next 72 hours in a park, Allie, finish us up here.
It looks amazing. I'm kind of waiting to book those trips till they finish all of this construction they're doing out there, because these lands look phenomenal. They're doing a really, really good over there. And you guys are right. There's no reason they can't be putting this in Florida.
Yeah. Just looking at the chat, Alicia says, beautiful land, wish we could see these stateside. And there was a tease a little bit about that, right, Allie? That the Disneyland Forward project might include some of these lands, Neverland and Tangled and all that. EE in chat says, WDW hasn't been the marquee since the 90s. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, exactly. You remember the Disney decade? Y'all remember that? It almost felt like, when they talk about the old days of Walt being in the parks and he'd stay in his apartment and he would come down before anybody else was out and he'd like leave notes on the things that need to be fixed. I feel like Michael Eisner was that dude in Florida in the 90s where he was just like, you know what? He little notes says, let's put another resort here. Let's put another resort here. And then, in a couple of years, it's there, rather than something like Journey of Moana that takes 7 years to make.
7.
7. So let's talk about tap points, because it's everybody's favorite topic. I did a poll beforehand. I said, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? And they're like, tap points are a must. But honestly, you know what? Patrick, you were talking about when you go through Journey of Water, your daughter's going to be really disappointed if things don't work. I feel like sometimes the old school Magic Band tap points didn't always work, and it was almost like you had to know the science of them. And then the newer ones, like the middle ground ones, you have the blue light up, or the green light up, and or I think it's blue, and then it's like, and another one, and it's like, if you can tap before it turns green, you're in. Otherwise, it's going to turn red, and womp womp, you got to start over again. I mean, it can be frustrating, but they had that great concept at the beginning. It was like, tap Mickey to Mickey. No, we don't look like Mickey anymore. We look like this. This is the brand new one that they have out there. Our article is definitely coming at you with this title, Cameras Introduced. It's got cameras in it. They're watching you. Patrick, they're watching you. How do you feel about that?
I mean, if you really think that you're walking around a Disney park and you're not being observed at every single second, everywhere you go, you are kidding yourself. Hopefully this will cut down on fraud. That's something I think. I don't like the positioning of the tap. I don't pay much for my Magic Band, but I do Apple Pay, and like, I hate having to reach over. I like when it's a nice big range. And I did read the article, and it said that they're worried that some people who might have vision issues will have a harder time seeing it because it's a smaller display, and I think that might be correct.
Yeah. I do like that it's on top for if you're doing your Apple Pay or you're dropping your RFID enabled card on top, because a lot of times you'll look at one of these and it's like the showers in hotels. They're all different. None of them are the same. Like, which way is hot, which way is pressure? It's like you've got to learn new every time you go. That's kind of the same thing with these touch points. It's like you look like an idiot putting like your card on the glass, and it's like, no, it's really behind it that you need to do that. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I've never paid for a thing in my life. I don't understand how this works. But the tap point, you're right. It is. I have used these. It is difficult to do that. I actually popped my Magic Band off and put it on there when I did that. So,
Yeah.
But we're seeing these in Florida. Allie, I feel like Disneyland, we've talked about this with Magic Band, let's just call it technology. Magic Band technology is falling way short because you can't tap to pay and you can't use them to get into your hotel rooms. And most people don't even use them to get into the parks. I mean, thank goodness you paid $65 for yours.
With a discount. Yeah, I don't use mine to pay in Florida just because I like to be aware when I'm spending all of my money. But it's not something that I would do at Disneyland. I do feel like more and more people are using the Magic Bands to enter. And as predicted, the lines have been a lot shorter to get into the parks. But something I did notice that Disneyland has a lot more interactive things with the band. Like the Disney 100 things will vibrate at you. And a lot of the rides I'm noticing either in the queue or even on the ride, the Magic Band starts going off. Like I was on Pirates the other day and we came up at the end and the Magic Band started going off. I was like, oh, that's new. Florida didn't have that. So I feel like Disneyland is at least trying to make it a little bit more worth your money to just have it interact with the park. But no, you cannot pay with it. But I don't know if you need to.
I need to do everything with it, actually. We do have a super chat, though, and I want to acknowledge our friend Jungle Cruiser back in the lineup. Welcome to, this is back when we were talking about these being the good parks. Welcome to a Disneyland fan's nightmare with our Tomorrowland. It has been a disaster for a quarter of a century, yet we get nothing. The original should get some love. The original should get some love. Allie, we've talked about that a lot, too. Jungle Cruiser, thank you so much. For your super chat. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, and if you check out, I think it was last week that you were on and we were talking about Tomorrowland and that being like the thing that you felt like needed to be updated desperately, because we were talking about things that need to be updated, not replaced, not built, but updated, and that was one of them. You were like, for the love of God, not just Disneyland, Tomorrowland, but both the Tomorrowlands need to be updated, right? Cool. Let's move on to San Fran Max. So we've been talking about San Fransokyo more than I think we've ever talked about any land reskin in the history of anything. But Allie, you get some great information from the parks every day that you go there about San Fransokyo. I feel like it's because you're a little biased when it comes to your boy Baymax. Talk to us about what's going on there.
Love Baymax. We're looking pretty close. Even just today, we noticed some new things. I don't know. I'm saying we. It was me. There were cables. We, WDW&T. Cables on the bridge. So the bridge is finally all one color. So that looks super ready to go. They've revealed some new posters. So there's 5 new posters around the wall area by the bathrooms that are themed to the land that were kind of cute. And then that bridge right by Ghirardelli, there's a huge sign now that says San Fransokyo Square on one side, and then it's in Japanese on the other side. So all we have left is Aunt Cass. That looks like the signs are up, but just not uncovered, and a couple walls down, and we are good to go. And my boy will be there, and I will be there, and it will be great.
And that's on the 31st, right? The 31st is when the land is officially open. So we're in the final
open.
throes of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, if we get the meet and greet, we get the bread, all of it.
I was going to say, if you could, while you're there, could you grab this for Patrick? He really needs this loaf of bread because he is also
not want to
Baymax
eat Baymax.
What? Of course you
I will
do.
rip his head off and eat it.
I do not want to eat Baymax. I just want to look at him and smell him and have him smell like s'mores. I don't want to eat him.
No? Are you going to San Fransokyo next time a game show sends you out there, buddy?
Yes, absolutely. You bet your luck. Call me. I applied, so let's go.
And then
I did that one.
the Tory Bridge is looking kind of freaking fantastic too. So I'm glad this is finally getting to happen. But I think, Kamila, this is the only reason you're really going, right? You don't really want to see Rogers the Musical. You just want to see the Pacific Wharf in new pajamas.
It really had just been too long since I had been on Space Mountain. So, no, I will say, I feel like I was really excited about this when they announced it. And I feel like the concept art looked really good. And then as I've seen them kind of put it together, I don't know, for me, I'm not seeing the vision as much. So I'm very curious to see how this looks like when I can, see it in real time, not just pictures. And then I'm curious to see what this looks like at night. I'm hoping that it like helps the area be more lit up with like some of the lanterns and things.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, but again, it's a far cry from California. We're continuing to move away, kind of like on the East Coast. We talk about Epcot losing its original vision of the edutainment and how the original one felt, and now we're kind of seeing that. We've been seeing that since DCA has turned into. It's like sort of a hint to California with like Route 66 with Cars Land, and sort of a little bit because it's San Fran, but it's Sokyo instead of Frisco. So we'll see. I think at some point they're going to have to legally change their name. Is what that feels like is going to have to happen. Now is the time when Patrick wants to talk about Lorcana. Now, here's the thing about Lorcana. If you guys don't already know, it's a trading card game in the parks. Patrick, talk a little bit about Lorcana before we talk about why it's park related.
So yeah, no, I've been able to get a couple cards after really struggling to get
Pokemon.
some. My local game shop actually has tournaments on Thursday and Friday, and I believe I'm gonna actually try and play in one. So I'm very excited. Opening the cards is a ton of fun. I haven't gotten anything of value as of yet. I really want to thank Ben and Alicia for showing me how to play the game. The comic book guy says, Disney character, the comic book guy, said that it should be easy to take on. So I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to playing. And it's going to be a nightmare when it's in the parks. An absolute nightmare.
Well, so they've got the date has been set finally. We thought all of this stuff was going to be released in Disneyland and Disney World on the launch day for the card game shops, which was I think the 18th of August, and now it's August 28th. It's going to be happening in the parks, so you're going to be able to go and buy these cards in the parks, and then I guess they'll have tournaments in the parks and things like that. So it's going to be very interesting. I will say that if you were hoping for a discount, that's not happening. They're pretty firm on the price on these. You don't get your 20% off. Otherwise, I would probably book a flight, head on down, and try to get some cards. But I assume, Allie, you'll be in the park on the 28th for the Lorcana cards, on the 31st for the opening of San Fransokyo.
I actually do not have to go tomorrow, so the other girl will be covering that. But I did go to Pin Traders today, confirm it will be there tomorrow, and they didn't seem to know a lot about it, so it might be a little bit chaotic on this side, but yeah. I don't know if they know what they're getting into. Like, there's going to be a huge line.
They do
tomorrow.
not.
Like, you guys need to be prepared.
Isn't that the best when you go and they more than the people do in the store, and it's not just a Disney thing.
And I don't know anything about Lorcana, but yeah, why do I know more than you? Like, come on, guys.
Right.
You know what? When I land, I'm gonna go try to find the I have no idea what this is, but I just want to get caught up in the hype of it, and so I'm gonna go try to see if I can get this tomorrow.
Are you? Okay.
And then I'm gonna.
I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna go buy a pack and I'm gonna film them burning and then send it to Rob and Patrick. That's where I thought we were going with this, but
in the
no,
box,
that's fine.
burn the box.
Burn the box.
The art is real.
Yeah, go ahead, Kamila.
I just want to say one thing really quickly. I just really hope that as they look for places to hold these tournaments, they absolutely do not include Star Wars Launch Bay. Don't touch that. That's not for this. Don't do it.
This is not for you.
Not for you.
The lounges, the corporate lounges would be such a great place to do this. Nobody uses them. Nobody pays you for them. It would be really fun and let people get a backstage look. I'm very excited. I'm more excited about collecting than I am about playing, but I look forward to playing too. The art is beautiful, especially when you get some of the foils. I don't know if it'll really show, but I got my Hey foil there. Too close. There you go. It's shiny. Is by my too much shiny. But yeah, I love opening the packs and seeing what you get. And I don't know if anything is worth playing. I don't know. I'll find out. I have a Tamatoa that seems to be pretty powerful. So,
yeah.
Find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, again, it's very Disney, right? I think that a lot of people who are like us, who are Disney Parks fans, are into it because it is Disney art. They are Disney characters. I know that our good friend Jake is a huge Stitch fan. There's like 8 Stitch-related cards, including like a weapon and a couple that were Lilo and a couple that are Stitch. So I think that if you're, a big Parks fan, you're going to find that. I hope that they integrate some park stuff into it eventually.
Can we? Like, where's
Wouldn't that be
Figment?
nice?
Where's the Orange Bird?
Where's Space Mountain? Yes, they should interject a bunch of that. But Patrick, I don't know if you ever played Disney Infinity, but I assume that at some point,
of course I do. You know that.
Sorry,
You can just assume.
Okay, just assume. So all the figures that they had for that, they started out with just Disney, and they were like, let me fold in the Star Wars ones, let me fold in the Marvel ones. I assume at some point there is a Star Wars game separate from this.
Separate Star Wars collectible card game coming out, which why are they bad at this? Like, why would you have 2 separate IPs that you own both of taking bites out of the marketplace of each other
at the same time? I don't know. It's perfect. It's perfectly cromulent. I don't know what the problem is. Let's move on to talk about Ahosoka, which debuted on Disney Plus. Was it last Tuesday with the first 2 episodes? They moved it to Tuesday for some reason. I think probably to avoid being up against Deep in the Plus on Wednesday. That's what I'm going to go for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was probably it. But now in the parks, we see that there's Ahsoka magic shots that they're doing. That's kind of cool. But also Ahsoka is in the parks now, which is seemingly something that they could have done a while ago. I assume they've just been waiting for the opportunity for this series to start. But, I mean, she's been in a couple of the other series, too. So now this has to go on Kamila's list, too. You've got to go meet Ahsoka, buy a box of Lorcana cards, swing by Rogers Musical before it goes away, check out San Fransokyo in case there's a soft opening for the rest of it. You are going to be a busy lady. I'm just putting that out there. I will write your itinerary for you.
Very busy. And you know what? On the plane ride over, I'm going to figure out who Ahsoka is in the first place. So we're going to start there.
God in heaven.
Allie, have you met? We're just gonna like wash over that. Allie, have you met her yet?
No, I looked for her today. I didn't see her. It was Boba Fett out when I went through. But I did watch the first episode. I was a little tired when I watched it. I need to rewatch it because I clearly missed some things. But I think it's great that she's out, and I love that they just keep doing this at Disneyland and not in Florida. I don't know why.
What is happening? This is like, I'm the angriest I've ever been.
Have you ever read the Patrick? Have you ever? I feel like this is coming from you, by the way. This whole like Disneyland hate thing, because have you ever read the Galloping Grumps, the Winnie the Pooh book, where it's like Eeyore's upset, and then he gets Piglet upset, who gets Pooh upset? That's you, man. You've got the Galloping Grumps. You're making it happen, and you just need to take it down a notch, because Disney World is still a great place.
It isn't.
Moving on to things that were broken at Disney World this week. The Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Pirates of the Caribbean was down. There was a pop-up. It was that bad. There was a pop-up on the app that said, "Sorry for the problems. Pirates of the Caribbean is down." Now, one of the things I've heard recently from a friend of mine was that there's weird 101 characters. Like, we know that if Elsa's face turns off or says, buffering, that we're going to be closing that attraction down. But for pirates, apparently the donkey, as you enter into the fire scene that's there behind the 3 pirates singing, if that's not working, they shut the ride down. Like, there's a series of several that cause it to go down. But it was down until 5 o'clock on a party night. So good for you if you wanted to ride that attraction and you didn't have a park ticket. Now, by the time the party happened, they were back up. There was running. You couldn't really tell if there was
really?
Yeah.
For the people who paid a premium price. Ugh.
Anyway, same day I think it was that Rise of the Resistance was down until 6 o'clock. That's one of those things that's going to hurt Disney's wallet, because that's a paid lightning lane, my friend. That's big cash money, Patrick. I know you personally have donated to that fund before.
Man, is it because of this thing here? Which way is it? That way? Yeah.
You're a multimedia superstar. Act like it.
Fix things, please. For the love of God, please fix things. You know what's really funny is I went on a vacation to Cape Cod. I'm an East Coast person, and that whole time I'm like, God, I wish I was in Disney World. So as much as I'm complaining about this, it's a better vacation than I get almost anywhere else.
Yeah, and we all say that. I mean, I think that part of the thing about it is we love this so much that when they let us down, we take it personally. Honestly, I think that's what it is. It's like, and especially because so many of us have been fans for so long, it's kind of like what you're missing out on now, with some of the things that happen. And so I feel bad for the people that only get to go once, and this was their day to ride Rise. This was their day to ride Pirates of the Caribbean, and they don't get to. And I mean, those are some pretty big attractions at these parks. At least what we can say about Rise in Florida is the California one's not any better, Allie. That's the only one I can clearly say it's the same.
It was down today when I walked past. They were clearly like, like I know, like if I'm gonna do Rise at Disneyland, I don't do it in Florida, but like I know I either have to get on it before 10:30 or I gotta wait till after 5 o'clock. Like as soon as I don't know, the middle of the day, it just does not work. And I'm with you guys. Like it's sad if that's your one day and that ride is amazing and you don't get to get on it. That kind of sucks.
Yes, that was very eloquently put. Kind of sucks.
It sucks.
Let's move on to the next one because I want to ask Kamila about this one. Is that the app has changed the way the dining looks? I assume doing what you do, you've probably studied this pretty hard to be able to explain to people how things are different in the app. Have you not?
Yeah, well, I mean, the great thing about working with the travel agent is we'll take care of that for you. But it does mean that I'm very familiar with how trying to book dining works, both for Disneyland and Disney World, which they're different. For those of you who didn't know, they are different, and you need to know different tips and tricks for them. No, this is a really good update, though, because it used to be where it would only show you like 3 times at a time, and it's not that those were the only times available, but it would just like choose 3. And so if you wanted to go to lunch at 11 a.m., it might show you like a 1 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, or something like that, and you would have to like physically go in and find that time and see if it was available. I'm glad to see that they are making these kinds of enhancements with the app to try to make dining easier. Other features that they've added recently. Like I'm glad to see that the apps are getting attention, but this is a really, really good update. And even if you're looking for last minute dining, it should help with that as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Patrick, thoughts?
I always thought that there was lacking searching for dining reservations, so this helped fill that gap a little bit. I like that I can see more than just a few handful of selections where I don't know if it's sold out or if I'm just not putting in the right time. So good job.
Yeah, it can be quite a game going back and forth between the app trying to figure out, like you can say in the old format, you could hit dinner and then it wouldn't show up. But if you hit 7 o'clock, it would. What a fun game that is. So fun.
Exactly.
In the meantime, we do have another super chat. This one is from Tyler Rod. Says, does it bother anyone when you pay for a Rise Lightning Lane and something is broken on the ride? Should you get a refund? I mean, if the ride is working, I mean, to be honest, yeah, you should. I mean, it should be but that should be the way for every Disney attraction. Like, shouldn't you get a discount when you go into It's a Small World and you can count on more than 10 fingers what things are wrong in It's a Small World? I mean, that's the kind of thing too. Now, Get Rise is different, and you're paying for it separately, but you're paying for all these attractions, and I think they should be probably. But Kamila has thoughts.
Oh, I was just going to say, I notice it happening so much with like the Genie Plus. Like you'll have a time reserved and then you'll get that like multi-experience because a ride has gone down during your return time. And what's so tricky is usually other comparably good rides as the one you had booked will not be available, and instead it'll be something that you don't really want. And so the trick is, if you ever get one of those multi-experience passes when you're using Genie Plus, if you have time, just wait for that ride to come back, because then you can just use it anytime and go back to that ride that you originally had tried to book, especially like at Epcot, Frozen, Ratatouille. I noticed those two tend to go down a lot, and they'll give you an option to go back to like Living with the Land, and like that's not comparable. So just wait for the ride to come back. That's my, and I love Living with the Land. I'm not shading it, but like, you know, if you know, you know.
How dare you? How dare you desecrate?
I know.
Listen.
I love Living. First of all, Living with the Land is the best.
Land over Frozen, always.
That's a tough choice. I'm not lying. I think you're onto something. The tiny dictator who runs our life will insist on going on Frozen, but I like the Land way more. Real quick, if you are polite and if you are kind and if you explain yourself well to a guest services cast member, you will probably get a refund. But if you go up there and you're being belligerent, and number one, you shouldn't get a refund. Number two, you probably won't. But ask. The worst thing that you can do is, as soon as when we had the bowl debacle, I just went and say, "Hey, am I getting a refund?" And like, "Yeah, you are." And I'm like, "Is everyone getting a refund?" Like, "No, they have to come up here." And I'm like, "All right, I have a big voice. I will tell everyone to come up here." So just ask, be kind and courteous, and treat people with respect, and you might get that refund.
That's fair. I agree with you. And
That was beautiful,
so you're
Patrick.
saying a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down?
Helps the overcharge go down. Yeah, that's the
overcharge go down. Got it. I was going to talk about the Disney treasure, but we're running out of time here, so we can bump that jazz for now. Sorry, Kamila. But let's talk about hotels and pools that are under construction real quick, because boy howdy, there are a lot of them. The Pixar balls have been added to the Paradise Pier Hotel, so we want to make sure to bring that up immediately. This is a big deal. So, wait, what? What are you laughing at? This is important, Patrick. Come on.
The delivery, man.
And then the most expensive hotel at Disney World is looks like downtown New York. And then, you've got the Stormalong Bay, which is the coolest pool that they've got on grounds, and it serves 2 hotels. It's going to be closed for 5 months. So, you know, there's that.
They should refund everyone staying there.
This one I need to know about from Allie, because this one I feel like has been under scaffolding more than it's not. Like, I feel like that. It's a cool pool. Like, it's neat. It's the Disneyland Hotel. They've got the monorails that are up there, and that looks neat. But I feel like this is always under construction. What do you people do to this thing that it needs maintenance like 9 months out of the year?
I have no idea what they do, but you are right. It's under actually more scrim. Like, you can't see it at all now. But my guess would be they're refreshing everything before that new tower opens, so everything is just ready to go. But they did open the new pool at the Pixar Paradise Pier Hotel.
Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. I agree.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, I agree, but it just seems like there's so much construction. I was talking to somebody this weekend, and I said, you know, there should be a ratio of allowed construction at Disneyland and Disney World at any given time. That you can only have X amount of things. Like, if you have 100% of, you know, all things at Disney World, only like 8% can be closed at one time. That's just me. Again, not thinking of me, but thinking of the people who come, and this is the only time they've ever been. I've always joked about those walls that have the signs on them that says this area is being refurbished for your future enjoyment. If this is that family trip that you've saved up for your entire life and you go there, that area is being refurbished for somebody else's future enjoyment, not yours. So, I mean, that's one of those things.
Take, man. It had me.
Yeah. That would have been fantastic. We'll do that next time. Let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back, and we're going to be talking about the things that we think you need to take into consideration when you're either booking a Disney hotel or you're telling your friends how to book their Disney hotel. The panel's going to talk about that and share their favorites with you right after this. And again, thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate you. Don't go away. We will be right back. This is Disney Entertainment News Today. I'm Rob Whiteside, and here now are the top Disney entertainment stories.
For the latest in Disney Entertainment News, watch Disney Entertainment News Today, hosted by Rob Whiteside. From movies and series news to stage shows.
It's time to adjust that set and turn that dial to WDWNT TV, our new channel where some of your favorite programming from the WDW News Today YouTube channel is heading. If you want to continue to see Boxed In on Fridays, ParksCenter on Sundays, and as well our Thursday night comedy variety show WDW News Tonight, you'll have to catch them at their new home, WDWNT TV. It's easy to subscribe. Just put in the URL, wdwnt.tv, hit subscribe, and make sure you get those notifications. Again, is the only way you'll be able to continue to see these great shows as they are moving away from the WDW News Today channel permanently. We hope to see you over there at our new home, WDWNT TV. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Welcome back to ParksCenter. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We appreciate you. If you have not already, please give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. And make sure to be with us every Sunday night for ParksCenter at 9 p.m. We always have a lot of fun and a big time. So thank you guys for being with us. Also, don't forget to join us for Deep in the Plus on Wednesdays. This Wednesday, Mr. Patrick Hackett will be with me, and we'll be talking about. You remember that, right? I'm just making sure because you are a multimedia superstar. It's hard to get him. And so we have him this Wednesday night. He's going to be talking about the shorts. I do need to tell everybody though that I clipped that commercial for Disney Entertainment News Today, and I'm looking off screen, and Patrick's voice is on the end of that. And when he heard his voice like interrupted, he went like this. He went like, "What just happened? That's me. I should be hearing me." Dude, it was so funny. Man, it's like he's off to the side doing something else, and then it's like, what did you do? My voice.
I don't get paid my full rate if the whole commercial doesn't play.
Sorry, it's been bumped. The ad's been bumped. We'll run it again next week. Or we can, you know what we can do? We'll actually add a commercial break to Deep in the Plus this week so that we can get an extra. Nice. We'll do some bonus runs for you on that one. So I appreciate it. One of the things that has come up, and we every week on ParksCenter, we try to find a topic that we think will be helpful to people to be able to help you with your Disney vacations, or it's that thing that you wanted to have, like it starts a conversation in your world, right? If you turn to a friend and say, hey, what's your favorite character dining, and you guys get in a conversation with it, that's pretty cool. Also, a lot of the people on this panel, and I'll bet a lot of you people watching, are those people in your office, in your school, in your group that people go, oh, I'm going to Disney. Can I borrow you for a little while to get some advice from you? I mean, it happens a lot, and we're all like, yes, please let me Disney-splain to you as much as I possibly can. And so when it comes to choosing a resort, I feel like there's a ton of options and things that you take into account. And I think this is a great panel of people because when it comes to the Florida parks, we're the ones that always, when we're planning our trips, we got to pick which resort we're going to stay in. And we got to figure out, like, you know, are we going on the cheap? Or are we going like baller? What are we doing? And what's available? And, you know, is it DVC, et cetera, et cetera. So what I did is I had everybody on the panel pick their top 3, and they're not I don't think they're going to be in any particular order. I think everybody picked them for a different reason. So what I want to do is I want to start at Kamila and work our way back down, and we're going to do this snake draft style. We're going to have Allie give her number 3, number 2, and move back up. But let's start with Kamila and say, tell us a resort that you would like highly recommend, that you go to, that you choose, and why you choose it.
So the first one that I would say that I feel like I always recommend this to clients. They almost never select it, and I'm always disappointed. But I think Saratoga Springs. I really feel like for the amount of space and the amenities you get within your villa, whether it's a studio, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, if you get the elusive 3-bedroom grand, you are going to appreciate the space and being able to have the kitchen, being able to have the living room area, having groceries delivered, and being able to comfortably, have breakfast in the room, have lunch in the room. I think especially for the kind of vacation that going to Disney World tends to be, you're going to appreciate having the space. And in some cases, I even believe it will save marriages.
Save marriages. That's wow. That you're really putting your foot down on that one. I think, isn't that your home resort, Patrick?
Nope.
What's yours?
Please. I'm a multimedia superstar. Where do you think I am?
Sorry,
the Grand
my fault.
Floridian.
My fault.
No, I always end up staying at Saratoga Springs, and recently I've stopped hating it as much as I used to. So the new refreshed rooms are great. The food's good there, and their pools are fun. So I'm going to start with my number 3, which is the Polynesian. And I'm going to tell you first what I wanted my number 3 to be. It's Bay Lake Tower. The problem is Bay Lake Tower doesn't have great theming in the pool. It doesn't have the meal options that Polynesian has, and the rooms are not up to snuff since the refurbishment. But Polynesian, you are in Disney World, but you're also not. It's great. You're in an island atmosphere. It feels like an island resort. There's always activities going on. The DVC studios are gorgeous. They have a great layout with the 2 bathrooms that you can use. It has little Disney touches here and there. I want theming. I want to know that I am in the Disney magic. And I like its location. Bay Lake Tower's location is a little bit better. It has the walking distance. You could walk. I wouldn't recommend it. It's hot in Florida. But Poly is just perfect. And it smells so good. Oh, the Poly smell is beautiful.
Yeah. I should have put smell on as an option because I feel like they all smell different. I feel like you could walk me into the Grand Floridian. I'm like, this is a Grand Floridian. This is what this smells like. And Polynesian is right at the top for that. And Alley All Stars as well. Different reason. But so here's the thing though, is I would like to get, if we can do this successfully, and I hope we can, is we've got a little poll for people. I would love to know from the people watching, what is the thing that you feel like is most important to you when you're picking a resort? Is it transportation? Is it location? Is it theme? Is it the pools? Is it the price? Is it the restaurants? Or is it something else? For me personally, it used to be when the kids were little, we weren't going to go to the park and then leave the park for like a 3-hour excursion over to a restaurant at like Old Key West to see Olivia's and then come back. Like, that's an excursion we weren't going to take. Now, when it's just, a couple, like, Allie and her partner, maybe they're going to go and like dine somewhere at a resort that has a really nice restaurant. So, we would go to the ones that were in our restaurant, and that would be a thing. I mean, in our hotel, and that would be a thing. But again, I appreciate you guys doing it. Just do pound 1 through pound 7. You only get to vote once, but we would love to hear what it is that makes a difference for you in choosing a Disney resort. And Allie, I didn't mean to blow up your spot if All Star is your number 1. I apologize.
No, I mean, yeah, for us, like, price is usually the biggest deciding factor, and we are never in the room. And now that All Stars and all of those value resorts have been remodeled, like, they're not bad. And the money that I am saving from paying $120 a night versus $500, $600, $700 a night, that's a whole extra like 5 days that we can stay, or a couple really nice meals or drinks at Epcot. So, I mean, for us, like, that's what we're looking at. So my number 3 is actually Pop Century. And I know Rob's with me on this one. Love the Skyliner. So Skyline to 2 resorts. And the bus transportation has actually been pretty good lately. The food's not bad. There's a ton of different pools, and all the different buildings are themed to different decades. I think we finally have been in every decade now. And it's just fun. Like, cheap, easy, quick, Skyliner.
Good food court too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the food's not bad.
A friend of mine, Maleko from Hawaii, I gave him that recommendation. He and his wife were coming from Hawaii to Florida, and I said, dude, do not sleep on Pop. Pop is great because, especially with the Skyliner, that's a game changer for Pop. And I think if you're looking to save money and if you're looking for a good value and you want that transportation that drops you at the best parts of Epcot and Hollywood Studios, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, and I do think that Skyliner made the difference there, and especially we'll talk about theming and stuff. I think that if you've got little kids, it's kind of cool. They're gonna see more theming and value in that than they would the beach club. And you're like, oh look, we brought you to the lap of luxury, and it's like, what I'd really like to see is a 3-story Rubik's Cube. Where can I get that, Dad? And that's where you can get it, is over at Pop Century. So what's your next one, Allie?
Next one, and then this is just assuming money is no issue. Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's just, the restaurants are great. You get the Savannah view, the room, the theming, all of it is just very Animal Kingdom, very Disney, and unlike anything else that Walt Disney World offers. So, Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Animal Kingdom Lodge, yes.
Lodge.
I like Animal Kingdom Lodge. Here's the funny thing too and thank you guys for voting. I love the fact that location is seemingly pulling away. And I had to go back through the chat to make sure nobody hit pound 4 and there wasn't an issue. But nobody has said the pool is the most important thing to them. Obviously, that Stormalong Bay being gone for 5 months is not going to be as much of a problem for everybody else as I thought it was going to be. Patrick, what's your number 2, buddy?
So what's funny is I almost went with beach, and I felt that the rooms were so devoid of theme. And I know that in the refresh they've been putting a little more Disney touch, but I went with the boardwalk, and this is mostly because of location. To be able to walk to Epcot is great. To be able to walk to a couple other resorts is really awesome as well. It's fun themed. I know that the rooms are coming out of a refresh. We'll see how Disney they are. For me, theming is really important. You get boats. I'd rather travel, and we know we joke about this, I'd literally rather travel by boat in Walt Disney World than any other mode of transportation. Boats are the most dependable. I'm a little frightened of the Skyliner, especially when there's a light breeze, and the monorail is down all the time. So give me a boat, and I really like the theme, and I want to feel that I'm in Disney. While it is the Jersey Shore, I still know I'm in Disney. I still know, even with that little update to the coffee shop. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for theme, and the pool is fun. The pool's fun. It's not a terrifying clown anymore, so that bumped it up.
For more on the boat conversation.
So when Patrick said that about the boat, do not listen to him. He's absolutely lying. Those boats are so slow. It takes them 10 minutes just to park, okay? You could walk slowly and beat the boat to Epcot or Hollywood Studios.
You're not wrong.
Don't listen to him.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Talking about.
I just want a nice, relaxing boat ride. I'm enjoying myself. I'm kicking back. I'm snuck an adult beverage on.
Get on Pirates of the Caribbean, okay?
You're messing with the wrong lady when it comes to boats, buddy.
I can't.
Sorry.
It's down.
That friendship, those boats are so embarrassing. Shut those down forever.
How dare!
You know that thing when you're on Living with the Land and the boat's going, and then you see the people from the behind the seats and they're going faster than your boat is. Is that what it is? It's like walking, kind of something like that. And you're like,
it's pretty close to that.
Why are you standing here? What are you doing? Okay, cool. Not just me.
It is
great.
It is shocking. And then when you consider how short of a distance they go, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? No, absolutely not. Patrick is wrong. Patrick is wrong. I will say, so my next choice is also Boardwalk. And, when I'm traveling with my family, I literally cannot get them to stay anywhere except for a 2-bedroom villa at Saratoga Springs. But if I'm traveling by myself, or if I'm with a friend or something, for me, it's always Boardwalk or one of those over there. And the reason why is first of all, I just love that area. I think from an ambiance perspective, I just love being able to get up in the morning, go walk or run around there. It's so calming, peaceful. It's quiet. Maybe because not that many people are staying there. I don't know. But I love it. And I love being able to just walk over to Epcot, which is my favorite park. It's the park I spend the most time in anytime I'm in Disney World. And then, Hollywood Studios is cool too. And the ability to be able to pop on the Skyliner right there or go walk over, but also to be able to have a room that looks out on the boardwalk, to be able to have a little bit of the nightlife experience, if that's what you want. If you are doing an adult only trip, and if it's in the budget, I really like any of the resorts that are right over there. Tons of dining options, great ambiance. You can get the resort vibe, but the parks are right there, literally a few steps away. And I like the new coffee shop.
Before you go any further, we do have another super chat from our good friend Rob Bazemore. Rob, you're not going to be able to see it behind the poll, but he says best deluxe is Grand Floridian, best moderate is Coronado Springs Tower, best value is Art of Animation. That is all. Rob, thank you so much.
Couldn't be more wrong, but thank you for your $10.
I was about to say, because he paid for a super chat and because he's like, we like Rob. Are we allowed to tear him apart here? Because I feel like
it's wrong in every single.
I mean, Grand Floridian is like, all right, Rob, bougie much? Okay, cool, buddy. Like, you got that Google money. He got that Google money. All right. The other thing is when you got when you look at like Coronado Springs, but I do the tower. Thank you very much. Coronado Springs is so spread out if you're not in the tower, and so that to me,
Port Orleans French Quarter moderate.
It's such a walk. And then Art of Animation should not be considered a value. I mean, the only way that you can pull that off is if you have a family that can use the Little Mermaid rooms, and they're still a little bit more than pop, but at least you get that theming. I'll agree with you there. I love Art of Animation as far as the suite goes, but it is not a value. It is expensive still, even though it's in that value the value place. But Rob, we love you, buddy. Thank you very much for the donation.
I will say, if I was gonna go monorail resort, I agree that I would do Grand Floridian. I would say of the three, that's my favorite. But my most booked resort, period, is Contemporary.
Really?
That is the one that people associate as like if you've never been, if you're taking your kids for the first time, that's the one they think of and that they want to stay at. Which
Are people furious if they get the garden wing instead in the A-frame?
No, I always tell them it's different, and I stay away from the garden wing because I know what that's like to pull up to that.
But let me ask you this though. Yeah, Jay Ware is Rob is bougie, but I like his style. Yeah, you know what? Again, I was kidding with Rob because we love Rob. But I was, it's one of those things where, Grand Floridian is amazing. It really is. I mean, you get what you're paying for at Grand Floridian. And then the Coronado Tower is a beautiful building. And it seems like, why is this a moderate? Because, the tower is great, but you pay extra. You pay more for the tower than you will for one of the other rooms that they have. So, but I don't disagree with any of that. But the Contemporary was not your number one before I say anything else, right? You were just saying it's the one that's most booked. I think it's one of those that's the most iconic. I don't have one, but that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Because it was one of the original. It's so interesting looking. When I was there last and I'm riding around the monorail in Bay Lake, and I mean, not Bay Lake, Seven Seas Lagoon, I'm looking across going, somebody thought all this out and it looks amazing. Let's forget about the new Poly building for a second. Everything else looks so amazing the way that it's laid out for a man-made lake. And it's like, you see this no place else. Like you were talking about, Patrick, that's that's the jewel in the crown is Disney World. And because of that Magic Kingdom, presentation that you get there. But that A-frame, if you talk to people about it, they're like the building where the monorail goes through the building. That's what everybody's going to say. And so I totally get that would be a thing. And it is one of those things where it has the opulence, but at the same time has something that kids recognize as just being freaking cool. So
and the location is amazing.
What did you say, Kamila?
Oh, and the location is amazing. Like they want to be close to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Walking to the Magic Kingdom is fantastic, as opposed to if you're at Fort Wilderness or the Wilderness Lodge, you have to take the boat to the Magic Kingdom because there's not a bus and it's too far to walk. So you have to take a boat, which I know, Kamila, you don't care for too much. So tell us, number one. By the way, thank you guys for voting in the chat. I see that we've prices kind of jumped up for everybody who's voting. So again, if you have not already voted tonight, pound 1 through pound 7, we'll get in your vote. Kamila. Let's have number one.
Okay, so I guess I didn't think of mine necessarily as like number 1, 2, 3.
That's fine. That's fair.
But the third one that I was going to say is I actually agree with Rob on Coronado. That's the other one that,
Wow.
I think if you need space, I think Saratoga is great value for what you get. The price point is just really good, even for like a 1 or 2 bedroom. If you want luxury and location, I really like Boardwalk, but again, that's because I really like Epcot, and then Hollywood Studios is fun too, and I just love that area. But if price is what you're thinking about, um, and you want to consider something a little bit more towards a moderate category, I really like Coronado, and I like that there's the tower opportunity or there's the non-tower rooms, but with both you get all of the amenities. And I actually feel like for a moderate, Coronado, even before Grandestino was in the picture, had a lot of amenities because it is a conference hotel. And so I've been able to do like work conference calls from one of the rooms there. They have like the little locker room where you can get things delivered really easily, like a whole conference center where you can easily print, fax, all that kind of thing. They have a gym. I just feel like all of the amenities, including the dining options, and they've only gotten expanded with the expansion of Grandestino. I think you're getting a lot. And so especially if you want to have more of like a relaxed resort vacation, if you're going to have a rest day in between, I think it offers a lot, again, at a really great price point, and it's pretty reliable that you can find availability there.
Very cool. Um, I have a question for you guys. And I think maybe transportation and location, people probably, some people might mean the same thing because transportation could be walking. And like you guys were talking about with some of yours that you're saying, like you could walk to, if you're at the Contemporary, you can walk there. That's not necessarily transportation. Dawn actually said in the chat that you can take a bus now from Wilderness to and it's very quick from Wilderness to Magic Kingdom.
Wilderness,
now, last time I stayed there, they told us there wasn't a bus and we had to move.
correct,
We
boat
had to go
only.
down. Yeah, boat
Yeah.
only.
Wilderness is getting a lot of love, and it should, especially holidays. Christmas time at Wilderness Lodge is
At
unbelievable.
that fireplace.
It's a beautiful hotel. Yeah, it's great. It just doesn't hit all the notes that the other three do for me.
It used to be though. Wilderness was one of those, and Animal Kingdom Lodge too. They're deluxes, but they're priced more moderately than any of the other deluxes are. And so I think for my family, that was probably early on why we went to Wilderness so much. Was that it was because it was priced very well, and so you could even like upgrade to club level, and it was still cheaper than some of the other deluxes that were there. So I love that for that. You get that grand entrance when you walk into the Wilderness Lodge and you look up with the high ceilings and everything that are in there, and the fireplace is amazing, and Whispering Canyon and Artist Palette? Is that or Artist? Which is the one that's the nice restaurant in there?
Artist Point.
Artist Point.
Palette.
Okay.
Yeah, Palette is.
I think Palette is
quick serve at Saratoga.
Saratoga.
Yeah.
And then Roaring Forks. So there's there's some neat restaurants in there too, and then the like the water that starts inside the building and goes all the way down to the pool. Like there's a lot of that that's really neat. Patrick, what you got?
All right, so you know how I was talking so much about location, and I'm going to throw that completely out the window. The best resort in Walt Disney World is Animal Kingdom Lodge. It has the breathtaking views when you walk in that we just talked about at Wilderness Lodge. It has great dining, whether you want to just go through a cafeteria or if you want to have like a high class meal, or if you want to be somewhere in between, like a decent sit down meal. The animals are there. Let's not throw that out. You can look out the porch in your room if you have a Savannah view and see animals, or you can just go down to the lobby and see them. They always have that big fireplace there. It's beautiful. The pools aren't the best, but they're well themed. They feel nice. I really like the big pool with the zero entry. I could have a vacation just at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I would not need to go to the parks. I would be able to stay there. I could eat, drink, and be merry and enjoy my time there. Yeah, look at that. It's just breathtaking.
So
the big is obviously the location and transportation.
I will say I agree with Patrick, and actually pre my Star Cruiser voyage, that's where I'm staying is Animal Kingdom Lodge for a few days. And the whole point is like I'm not really spending much time in the parks. I just wanted like a place that kind of feels like it has everything, you know, food, relaxation all in one place. But I will say Animal Kingdom Lodge, I feel like if you're not staying there, I definitely think it's worth it to have dinner there and go check it out.
Absolutely.
Boma, Jico,
Yep.
Sanaa, where are you feeling? All of the
So
above?
all three,
All of them.
all of the above.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've never eaten at Jico.
Victoria Falls is a great little lounge too, and they have some
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's the same kitchen, but I watched a game of the 2018 Red Sox World Series there and just had the best time. Good snacks, good beer, really good beer selection. It's awesome. Just go spend some time there. Take some time out of the park.
Go
and
around
when it
dinner
comes to-
time because the
when it
animals
comes
are
to the-
being fed then. Sorry.
to the deluxe ones, though, this may be why those two, Wilderness and Animal Kingdom, are lower, is they don't share the transportation location benefits of the rest of them, right? Because if you're doing any of the ones on the Seven Seas, if you're doing Poly or you're doing Contemporary, you're doing Grand Floridian, you're on the monorail. If you're doing the ones around Crescent Lake, if you're doing the beach, yacht, or boardwalk, you can walk to Hollywood Studios actually, but you can walk to Epcot or you can get on the Skyliner. So, you know, those have those benefits. These two do not. So, and then Saratoga Springs, same thing. It's kind of a little bit over to the side when it comes to those. And that's really more of a home away from home than I don't think it's labeled a deluxe. One question before we get to Alley's though, for the panel, people were talking about Swan and Dolphin. There are other places. There's Bonnet Creek Resorts that are on grounds. There's the Disney Springs hotels that are that hotel way. And then there are the Swan and the Dolphin, and of course the Swan Reserve, which I will always refer to as the Cove. But all of these are options that you're there. Why, Kamala, why wouldn't you choose any of those when you were listing yours?
Yeah, I
Because they're
mean,
not Disney?
so I will say, well, no. So I feel like typically Swan and Dolphin, they're a little bit harder to book as a Disney package. So, you know, and that tends to be what I work with more. But absolutely, I think Swan and Dolphin of all of those is a really excellent option. It's right there on property. You're going to feel like you're staying, you know, at Disney or on Disney, certainly compared to some of the others that are much farther off property. Great pricing, and you get like those points if you're a, you know, Marriott Rewards member. The other thing I will say is like if you're someone who really wants luxury, I think Four Seasons is really your main option.
Whew.
Cheaper rack rate than Grand Floridian and Polynesian. Cheaper rack rate.
Yeah.
And they have
Well-
characters there too.
And again, before we get to Alley's, Patrick, what about you? Any of those, like the Swan, Dolphin, Bonnet Creek, or the?
You know what I
Disney
really
Hotel?
like is there's that cutout in, I don't know if that's the Swan or the Dolphin, because eventually the monorail is going to get extended through that building.
Fingers crossed. No, it's not gonna
That
happen.
is, you won't believe what that square is. It's to make sure that all the mirrors don't make a death ray. That's really what it's for.
I didn't even kind of acknowledge the Bonnet Creek resorts until I went with Visit Orlando had us come down for the radio stations, and we stayed at the Westin back there, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty nice, and like you're talking about, rack rates much more affordable. So sometimes if you want to spend a little bit of time on Disney property and then split that with a very nice hotel, it's a little bit cheaper, but still.
Or the
first
Waldorf
time.
Astoria. I forgot that I was trying to get them to hashtag sponsor me. The Waldorf
Multimedia
Astoria.
superstars are such divas. Before you get on to your final one, Allie, what any of those ring a bell for you, or have you booked them before?
I have not ever booked them, but Swan and Dolphin would probably be the one that I would stay at, just because you can walk to Epcot, just the location.
As a little kid, it drove me crazy that the Swan and Dolphin took up so much of the skyline and were not Disney hotels. Honestly,
can see
like
that.
it's one of those things where like I get offended if it's not a Disney thing. Kind of like when Universal does something better than Disney, and I have to feel like I have to defend Disney to other people at that point. Like it's that way with those two hotels. It's like they take up so much skyline, and it's like, why are these not Disney hotels? They're in great proximity, are right there on Crescent Lake. So, all right, here we go, Allie. What's your other one? We won't call it your number one, but your other one.
Yeah, my other one, and again, this would be if it was an adult trip, would be like yacht or beach club, just because the food's decent over there, the pool is great, the rooms I don't think are spectacularly themed. I mean, I remember when we stayed at beach club, it was like it's an okay room, but just being able to roll into Epcot is fantastic and not have to wait for the bus or the Skyliner.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it's one of those things that I've pitched to friends who were like, "Hey, Rob, I know you like Disney. Like, my wife and I are planning a trip with the kids. What do you suggest?" And immediately I'll go, "Let me just tell you about this little joint called Pop Century, where you kind of get a little bit of everything because you get,
Yeah.
some fantastic views, and you get like the 3-story tall, like the Roger Rabbit. I mean, that the kind of stuff is pretty
Yeah.
amazing out there, and some of the, and the pools are great." And the value is great, and the access on the Skyliner is great. And then they turn around and go, "Oh, well, we heard that the yacht club is better, so we're going to book that." Yeah, your 4-year-old is going to love the dramatic theming of the yacht club. Again, yacht club's fantastic, and it has a good smell. I mean, when you go
Yeah.
into
Good
that
smell.
one, it has a very
Yeah.
good smell, and I wouldn't put it down, But I'm just saying, like, I feel like if you're a first time going, though, you may choose one of two different paths. You may choose, it's my first time going, I don't want to invest all of my life savings this time. Or you may go, we may never go again. Let's just put it all on black. Let's just go for the whole thing, right? So, I mean, some people do that, and Kamila's smiling because she knows the people that are going to do that. We'd like to go, but we'd like to go first class. Here's my platinum card. Book it. So, so let's wrap up this topic. Final thoughts on the resorts and the things that we put into it. And again, thank you guys for voting. It looks like at the end of the day, location was a huge winner. And like I said, I think some of that has to do with probably the transportation or how you get to
Yeah.
the theme parks or your favorite theme park. So, Kamila, final thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's interesting because I feel like I'm probably one of the few people that has no issue with bus only resort options. I just have never had an issue with buses. Now, I also might just be like a very patient person. And so I don't mind if I'm out there for 15, 20 minutes waiting. It's all just magical to me. I will say, have a budget and try to stick to it. I do think when people are picking their hotel, you can overextend yourself very easily at Disney World. And you're choosing a place to stay, you still have to pay for food and other things. So recognize, are you the kind of family where you're going to go back and want to do naps, or are you really going to be spending all your time in the parks? And so therefore, you just need a place to sleep. Just be honest about that. Now, I will say some families, what I have noticed is they definitely need space, they need room, they need some of the upgrades, but some genuinely do not. And so just, be very true to yourself. Don't get caught up in the hype of different places. You're going to be in Disney World or Land. You're going to have a great time.
Yeah, agree. Patrick?
I really was almost going to say exactly what Kamila just said, and I am at a loss. Yeah, know who you are and know what's important to you. Don't be afraid to look outside the Disney bubble in Orlando, but be careful. Be careful because there is some gross ones out there. Stay close to the resorts, and Waldorf Astoria is really a great choice. All of the Four Seasons, I've heard wonderful things, and I can be hashtag sponsored at any point in time you'd like. I have zero soul. Just buy me.
You're absolutely ridiculous. Thank
And
you, my
he's
friend.
cheap.
Oh, absolutely.
Allie?
Kind of what they said, just, figure out what it is that is important to you. How much time are you really spending in the room? Like, if you have kids, do you need the space? I know, like, my friend with a kid liked the Polynesian because you can just wheel the stroller straight onto the monorail. So that's something to consider. But then on the other hand, the other week, I met up with the same girl and we were at All Star Sports, and the 5-year-old was totally enthralled by the giant sport things that were around. So, like, don't sleep on the value resorts either. Like, they're been remodeled. They're actually pretty good. The rooms are decent sized, and the money you can save, you can eat at a lot of really nice places.
See,
So just figure out your trip. Yeah,
you've
figure out
said
your
that a
trip.
couple times. Like you're like, for the money you save, you can go do a nicer,
Yeah, go be bougie. Go to
yeah.
Flying Fish. Go to
Yeah.
Coma. Go
Please,
to
I was going to say,
Sanaa.
please
Yeah.
catch Allie at Monsieur Paul's every trip she
Yeah.
goes on.
Spending $100
No, but
at
I was
All
going to.
Stars, $400 on dinner. It's great.
But with my wife, it's like, oh, we saved all that money, so now can we get new flooring in the living room that doesn't transfer, like so. Anyway, but the one thing though, that is, I think, kind of all of you have sort of said here is that when you go to resort, and my dad used to say this when I was a little kid, it's like it doesn't really matter where you put your head at night if you're going to spend the days from rope drop to closing in the parks. And I mean, it's nice and it's great to go home to a beautiful resort, but then you kind of have this sort of like buyer's remorse when you leave. You're like, oh man, I should have gone to see the flamingos at the Animal Kingdom, or I should have eaten, at the Grand Floridian Cafe, or, I should have done, that beautiful pool or that huge, water thing that they have there. Like those things that you think you're going to want. Like you guys have all said this already, but the things that you think you're going to want, and then you get there and you're like, we never even used any of it. So then why not stay at a place where you can get a little bit extra money to then spend in the park, enhancing your day. So thank you guys so much for being on the panel tonight and sharing these tidbits with everybody. I hope that some people found them useful. I know a lot of people in chat were like, here's what we want to do. Here's what we do when we go. We would love to see those comments after the show is not live anymore. Please go back into the comments and tell us your stories. Tell us your, why you go to where you go, and why and why someone else should, take your advice on it. We want to be that for people. So help each other out, and we appreciate it. We also appreciate our WIGS members, our WDWNT Interglobe Society. We love you guys. Thank you for being WIGS members. We appreciate it. It is our Patreon group. If you want to be part of our family, you can go to patreon.com/WDWNT to find out more. Again, we're going to be doing Deep in the Plus this week. Patrick and I talking about the shorts, the Disney shorts that they've gone back and redone for the first 100 years, and we did the first batch. And Patrick's coming back on to do the second batch this Wednesday, so we hope you guys will join us for that. Also, News Tonight on Thursday nights, and please be with us again next Sunday night for ParksCenter. Also, don't forget to tune in for Kamila's 72-hour straight live feed from Disneyland.
I'm gonna ghost you all.
Oh. Live from every boat she can find. It's gonna be amazing. So yeah, all right, thank you guys. And if you are a WIGS member, we do have a quick post show after this, so please stick with us. We will see you then. Everyone else, have a great week. We appreciate you. Be safe out there.
Bye. There's a Pinterest account. I'm going to this right now.
I know what we're doing.
I'm going to this
that's
right now.
amazing! Oh my God. Yes, that was
Best
so
outro
good.
ever.